What is up, YouTube subscribers and G2PO fanatics? Hopefully, you're all in a mood for some RPG and dungeon crawling, loot, and a whole lot of clicking. And I mean a whole lot of clicking, and probably some more loot. Because this is the video review for Torchlight II on the PC from your boys at Classic Elite. My name is Josh, people call me Gooch, and I'm ready to talk up the sequel to Runic Games' Torchlight, and anything but light action RPG dungeon crawler from '09. However, before I jump in, epic boots and all, I need to mention a couple of friends from Classic Elite that make all of this possible. Gamersgate. Gamersgate.com. The guys and gals over there provide Classic Elite with the best PC games out there. They're the leading digital distribution service for PC and Mac worldwide. They not only have the best selection, but they've got the best deals. Gamersgate has all the time, every day, even annually, weekly deals all the time. And on top of that, they have a fantastic community and a very, very awesome loyalty program which nets you rewards just for being active and kick ass in the community. Did I also mention that their service is client-free? Yeah, no client, nothing to bog you down. With their client-free service, you can enjoy your PC games anytime, anywhere. So now that I've given you the scoop on where to get the best PC games and the best deals, you need something to play them on, and that's where Doghouse systems come in. These guys have hooked us up with the most fantastic gaming rigs out there, and you need to get on the action as well. Doghouse Systems makes the best gaming PCs on the planet. That's not my opinion, that is fact. They're PC gamers who make gaming PCs for PC gamers. Does that make sense? It should make sense. Everything they do, from the build quality to the customer service, is phenomenal. So make sure to check them out if you're in the market to upgrade or get a new gaming PC. And also, don't forget to use the checkout code CELITE, that's CL337 at checkout, and you'll get yourself $25 in Jinx Gold with your purchase. If you're buying a gaming PC, you might as well get the best and some nerd swag to boot. Alright, now that I've told you guys about our amazing friends, it's time to dig right in and talk Torchlight II. So Torchlight II takes place after the first game. And that's it, yeah. There's story there, but ultimately, just telling you right off the bat, it's forgettable. It's not a bad thing. They have great presentation, some fantastic, interesting, I'm not sure what to call it, CG animation going on there. I mean, the world feels huge. The scope feels way grander than the first game, but the story isn't the main appeal. Now, talking visually, it doesn't look much different, but that's okay. The game has a real warm, exaggerated look that really stands the test of time. Very, very similar to the first game. So Torchlight 2 isn't going to push your system to the max, but it is going to run really, really well on just about any decent gaming rig. And also, there's enough level and enemy variety to make up for any lack of polygons, which I could care less if the game was sprite-based, as long as it's fun. And trust me, this game is fun. But, since we're talking about it, the world has been expanded outside that just one little town and a mine. Sure, the first game had portals, it took you to random dungeons, and eventually the mine was, well, more than just a mine. Spoilers for the first game, sort of, not really. But, how do I say here? The sequel puts Torchlight in its own world. You get to go outdoors, you get to discover dungeons along the way. Now it's all random except for the towns or quest hubs that you find, but overall it makes the game feel much, much more like a big adventure where you are saving the world. Ultimately, it's nice because it gives you a lot more enemy variety, a lot more environmental variety, and the devs just have a much greater chance to show off how awesome their tech is at creating all of these randomly generated worlds. Alright, now talking about the first game and what's coming back, yeah, it looks the same, but what isn't the same are the classes. None, and I mean none of the 3 original character classes return in the sequel. What we have are 4 new classes. You've got an Engineer, Outlander, Ember Mage, and Berserker, and they all play fairly differently. With the exception of a resource building mechanic that each class has. As they attack enemies, it builds up, but it's different for each class and how they manage and expel the resource, so ultimately what I just said may not hold water. Ultimately, though, your engineer could be very different than your friends. The game is really, it truly is an RPG. You allocate stat points, and then you have additional points that you spend to unlock and beef up skills and augment your abilities. This means my engineer could be way more focused on cannons and doing some range damage, whereas your engineer could be tanky and carry a sword and shield around all the time. Or it's that freedom that makes Torchlight so awesome. It gives it tons of replayability when compared to its counterparts. Torchlight has loot and monsters, and you click a lot, so it's all expected. But in terms of the loot, any class can use any item. Did you hear me? Any class can use any item. With restrictions. So let's say my Ember Mage can dual wield guns, hold a cannon, a shotgun, whatever I want, so long as I meet the level and or stat requirements of the item. It's just fantastic to think that my mage-like character, who is wearing robes or whatever, can swing a giant hammer if I want to, put my points into strength to wield it. It might not be the wisest decision, but it's my choice. The devs aren't forcing me down any particular character development path, and it's just really all about me having fun and playing the way I want to. Did I mention the game now has multiplayer? That was everyone, and I mean everyone's biggest grief, if you want to call it that, with the first game was that it was single player only. A fantastic game in its own right, but that was the one major missing component that people requested to include in Torchlight 2. That felt like a run-on sentence. But yeah, so Torchlight 2, like the first thing they announced with the game was, hey, we've got multiplayer up to 6 players. It's great. And what's awesome is that it's more than multiplayer. You can just go off and do whatever you want. You are never stuck to your partners. And there's that word again, freedom. You might want to host a server that functions more like a chat room than a true multiplayer game. Or you might want to take your level 33 Berserker and go run dungeons with your level 3 friend. It never stops you. It doesn't restrict you. Runic says, do whatever the hell you want because it's a game and it should be fun. Now, they didn't literally say that, but that's the vibe I'm getting. They just want you to have fun with it and play the game the way you want to. Now, speaking of that and doing whatever the hell you want, I have one word for you. Mods. M-O-D-S. Mods. Mod the crap out of the game if your heart so desires. Develop or download mods, do whatever. Runic wants you to do what you will. It's all open and fair game. And they're, again, freedom. Plus, replayability. Rehaul the whole experience, make your own dungeons, your own class, adjust the level cap, do whatever. I mean, that's all I can think of. If you're a modder out there, sky's the limit. It's really up to the community and what they want to do, and it gives the game a life that, let's face it, the competition just doesn't have. So, I've went on and on about how great the game is and what it does well. What I should mention is what it doesn't do well. And that's the price, guys. I mean, seriously, these guys could have easily charged way more than $20. I mean, 40 at least, right? There's just so much value here. You got 3 beefy acts, a 20-plus hour campaign. That's on your first playthrough. You've got New Game Plus, the multiplayer, and the mods. Yeah, I mean, there might be another dev who's very popular, and they have a game that is very popular, and it technically fits in the same category as Torchlight 2, but in terms of value, Runic is giving you a way better deal in the gameplay hours per dollar ratio. I can easily recommend Torchlight 2 to anyone who likes the recent dungeon crawling games. They're fantastic, and this game fits right in there. But I can very especially recommend Torchlight 2 to those who enjoyed the old school dungeon crawling games of yesteryear. Torchlight 2 is just as nerdy, deep, and challenging enough to appeal to the diehards who say the genre has gone soft, but yet it still retains enough modernization and enhancements that these guys brought in with the first Torchlight, and it keeps the game from feeling dated or uninviting. So yeah, I'm pretty much telling you guys this is a big thumbs up, highly recommended. You should go pick it up. There's no reason not to. It's $20 for crying out loud, and there's so much value here. So that wraps things up. I just want to mention, as always, if you like this video, please make sure to rate and subscribe, or both, please. We're on G2PO and YouTube. We're all over the place. Hit us up on Facebook and the Twitter. And if that's too much to remember, just go to ClassicLeet.com where you can get your Leet fix. You can see every place we're at and everything we're doing, from game reviews, hardware reviews, unboxing, podcasts, and way more. Thanks again for watching, guys. And hey, if you're a modder out there and you're watching the vid, make a Gooch class in Torchlight 2. Peace.